Hi again and welcome. This is Michigan's AutoTalk podcast, episode 44. We are live from the Michigan International Auto Show, and we remind you every episode of Michigan's AutoTalk is about celebrating the automobile and everything automotive. We're also about helping and supporting you, the great car and truck owners across the state of Michigan, birthplace of everything automotive. I'm Phil Tower, the producer, the guy pushing the buttons. The stars of the show are Schwinkendorf and John Puhek, and we are here inside Devos Place with a bunch of cars for the 2022 show. This show, as you're hearing this podcast, will have ended, and I am predicting that they will do very, very well, because we were talking earlier, a lot of people are just tired of being cooped up, so they're getting out, they're looking at the cars, and I think, as we were telling Dawn Baker in our first episode down here, you can't go to an auto dealership right now and see every vehicle, and this is the place to do it. So here we are, guys.
Good place to be.
We are pleased to welcome in this segment, we've got Judd Templin, who does a lot of things for Ford, so many he wouldn't even tell us what he does.
Yeah,
but,
it's all top secret.
We're going to ask him a lot of questions about Ford, and he'll probably nail every one of them. Judd, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Now, you come from the factory side. Do you know these people down here, the local dealers and stuff like that, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, you really get relationships with all these local dealers. Yeah.
Okay.
When you've been doing this so long, I mean, the dealers are like the front of Ford's community relations with their with the people, right, that buy our products. So I work a lot with local dealers on making sure that we're highlighting the positive things they're doing there for their communities.
You know, that's one thing that I don't get out a lot, but when I do, other parts of the country don't have, I don't think, the caliber of automotive dealerships that West Michigan have as a rule. We've got, really top-notch across the board, good dealers.
Well, you think some of these dealers, I mean, their family heritage goes back so far, and it's not like they just set up shop yesterday.
Correct.
Like some of these guys have been here 50, 100 years, like to the beginning of the auto industry.
Yep.
So I think when you have dealers that are that connected for so long in the community and live here and drive their products and buy their own products, that shows through. And I can't say enough. I mean, the local dealers help provide the vehicles for this entire show, not only Ford, but all the other manufacturers. So there's no local dealer support. You don't really have great auto shows like this one.
Now, how many auto shows do you do a year?
Well, in a good time, I mean, I would do them all over the Midwest, right?
How many would you do?
I got to say, for this year, I mean, this is one of the only ones that are happening. I mean, obviously Chicago's and the big cities are still having theirs.
Yep.
But last year with COVID, all of those other types of cities, just like the Columbuses and Louisville's and things, they just didn't exist, or they weren't done at the same level. So I'm really excited to actually get back and talk to people about these products, because as I was telling you, this is the chance for most people to actually get in products that this year some of them have never had a chance to see, but not only see them, but sit in them and feel them.
I'm a little impressed about, I don't like the name, but the Mach-E, awesome vehicle. There's one here. There's a Lightning here, but we see Mach-E's out on the road in Grand Rapids, and there's a lot of companies that tout their electric cars and stuff like that, but you guys are making them, and they're to your current ability, and they're out there on the road.
Yeah, I mean, that's the good thing about Ford. We're committed to it. I was telling someone the other day, like, this is not just a flash in the pan for Ford. I mean, the company said we're going to put $30 billion into electrification technology by 2025. And by 2030, like a major percentage of what we sell, I think they're estimating 30 to 40% of the vehicle's volume will be electric. So when people see these products, it's not just hey, oh wow, look at that experiment. It's like we took an F-150, the best-selling vehicle for over 40 years, and electrified it. I mean, this is serious, and this is where I think the future's gonna move us.
And if I'm not mistaken, the old train station in Detroit, that real cool old building, that's the Electronic Tech Center, right?
Yeah. I mean, Ford's investing, as I said, billions. We're building a new electrification factory in Tennessee.
Okay.
In a few years, we're building a new battery plant in Kentucky. I mean, these are huge. These are huge investments. They're going to employ thousands of people, billions of dollars. I mean, we're committed to this because we're seeing it. In the Mach-E, you've got our hybrids like the Maverick. The F-150 Lightning.
Yep.
I mean, you're seeing that, and I think that's key, right? Because with products, there's several different ways you can go, and one of them is you can make your own electrified product.
Right.
But what we're doing is we have products that we know people that are iconic, right? The Mustang, the F-150, and we're electrifying.
Yeah.
And I think for people, especially a lot of what I do is, educating people about what products Ford has, about the new technology coming out. That's a good way to make someone who right now doesn't know anything about electrification, feel a little bit more comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not a brand new vehicle. It's an F-150 that is built Ford tough, that's done the same way, but now it's electrified.
I've heard talk that they're getting into the semiconductor business too, or hope to. Is that true?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
But again, we've got a lot of investment going on.
Yeah, but they're just like, if we can't get supplied, we're Ford, we can build them. How cool is that?
Yeah. And we had a writer from the Free Press on a couple episodes ago who was talking about the sale of the Mach-E's to the New York Police Department, $11 million worth of Mach-E's. That's a pretty cool story.
Yeah, that is cool. I mean, we see just among all our products, there's a lot of support among law enforcement. I mean, a lot of our products we sell directly to law enforcement. But that's been one of the things I've had a great opportunity to work on. I've done announcements and media events around sales to all different types of police departments. Lima, Ohio, where I'm from, the police department there uses vehicles where the engines are made right at the Lima plant. So that's, I think, something that's different about Ford in the Midwest versus Ford on the coast, right? That being in the Midwest, you really get there's such a connection, right, between the plants, between the people who sell them, the communities, and then even the police department. So,
well, I think there is so much. I mean, I'm a Chevy guy, but I'll get it up to you guys, to you Ford guys. I know I remember watching not too long ago, I think the state of Michigan started putting in the charging grids on the roads. And so I know there's a little bit of the government infrastructure, but I think by far none, Ford is the one company that is by themselves, not subsidized, but charging forward with this electric applications and technology, and that I think is just really awesome.
Plus, what a better place to shine on, to take the Mach-E where it could do, it's in its environment, is a cop car in New York City.
Yeah.
Yep. Cops, they're in a 12-mile radius all day long. They cover 200 miles, 200, something like that. I mean, perfect vehicle for it.
Well, you tell people about these electric vehicles, and they go, "Oh, I'm not going to get horsepower. I'm not going to get torque. I'm not going to accelerate." And I said, "Well, let me tell you a story about a Mach-E going 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds."
Yeah.
And then their eyes usually get really wide, and then they have nothing else to say about it.
Or the Cobra jet that does a sub-9 second quarter mile. I mean, the electrics have no clue.
Yeah. It all goes back to education.
Was it
and there's a lot.
Third generation Tesla is the only car banned by NHRA unless you have a roll cage, because it is so fast right out of the gate. No other car is like. Come on, man.
Well, I was trying to tell folks, the Gilmore Museum has a 1903 electric vehicle.
Yeah.
So here we are, 117 years later, and full circle, we're advancing on that.
Judd, what has the Bronco 2 meant to Ford over the last couple of years? I mean, the new Bronco.
The new Bronco. Don't say that. You're glad that's gone.
I had a Bronco 2.
Did I?
But what is, I've never seen a vehicle get so much buzz. Obviously, the F-150 Lightning. Ford's got a lot of buzz right now. The Maverick. But the Bronco just has seemed to captivate car buyers and those people who are probably drooling over that thing. I know you can get a retro Bronco made by some guy who, for $500,000, he'll remake you one, but they're a great vehicle. They come in all kinds of different flavors. What has that vehicle meant to Ford?
Yeah, so it's been huge, and I sound like a broken record, but that's an iconic vehicle, and I think that's partly why why sales, beyond it being an awesome product, and beyond having so many customization options and being there for people who want to go off-road or do adventures, I think it's nostalgic. People grew up with the Bronco. People grew up with the Bronco. And now that it's back, we can't keep them on dealers.
The people who Grandpa had one when they were a kid or whatever, they're at that point in their age right now where they can afford to go out and buy one.
Yeah.
But the kids love them too because everybody's got a Wrangler. What's new and different? And I think I don't know that the nostalgic thing. Like one of my favorite cars is when they redid the Thunderbirds.
Oh yeah.
Didn't go over well. For God only knows why. It was cool. Hit the key and go. You had all the cool in the class and everything else you did of a 57 Thunderbird, but you could actually drive it and fit in it, and they had air conditioning that worked and all that. And it didn't fly, but they, pull out the Bronco and it's just like crazy. Just crazy.
Because they did everything right on it.
That's true.
And there might be a lot of OJ fans out there. You never know.
No, wrong Bronco.
Yeah, wrong Bronco, different Bronco.
No, but that is cool. And anytime when they finally got away from the spaceship Mustang and went back to a heritage-looking one, look what that did for that. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I think one other difference, though, is just how many things you can customize on it. Because oftentimes you hear, it's only available in 4 colors or whatever.
Right.
Like that used to be against the entire industry. It used to be like people would attack on it. But with the Bronco, you can get like 200 different customized features from the dealer. I'm talking about, you're a kayak guy.
Yeah.
We'll sell you something so you can put a kayak on the front. You're a bike guy. Well, you can buy the dang customization to put bikes on the back.
Yep.
Or actually, you can fit, believe it or not, you can fit 2 bikes standing up in the back of a Bronco. It's
really?
True.
Wow.
So I mean, it's crazy the amount of room that's actually in there because of the roof. You can take off the roof and things, right? So there's a lot of space there. But I also think beyond the nostalgic, it's like these options and just being out there saying, hey, like you don't have to have it in only one color, and it doesn't have to be only one trim model. I think that really resonates with our world where everything is so individualized.
Well, and the thing is, and you can go get that from the factory, make one payment, not go out and buy it and then go like I did when I was a kid. You go buy an F-150 and then you buy the lift kit, then you buy the tires, then you buy and you put that investment all over again. And not everybody has the ability to do that. And it's got a full factory warranty on it. It's just a car.
Did you guys see the Bronco Raptor announcement?
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be amazing. I mean, it's crazy, but I'd love to be in the desert in one of those things. I mean, just to.
You should be able to pull some strings.
I need to pull some strings. Call my friends.
There you go.
I just thank God for barcodes, because as I'm hearing all these options and these choices you can make as a guy that works on it. Poor guy on the line, like, okay, it's this. No, it's gray with this rack. No, it needs this handle. No, it needs this. No, it needs it. I'm like, oh man, that's very cool. And then also like, oh well, I gotta get this replacement part. Like, man, that back in the day, that would have been like, wait, did Bill put blue on here? No, he put green. Oh, okay.
Judd,
scrap it, put it back.
I got to ask you about the first pickup truck I've ever seen with a trunk, and it is maybe the showstopper for me. It's the trunk in the F-150 Lightning. That's kind of mind-blowing. Speaking of a lot of space, that is a really unique feature in that truck, which Ford hasn't talked a lot about, but it's a huge benefit of having, along with everything else that comes with that, and it's in the front end. It's really cool.
Yeah, so we actually call it a frunk, which is a front trunk. Yeah,
of course you do.
That's the actual that's the real term for it, frunk. So so use that, start using it, put it on Twitter, on your on the as many times you can mention the podcast. Let's make it a thing. But honestly, that's people don't remember that.
This, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
When you lose the
sounds like
internal combustion engine. You open up space. The battery's underneath of the thing, so that has that whole front end now where you can put stuff. And it's neat because with the Lightning, first of all, it's completely sealed from the elements. But when you open it up and you want to put coolers in there, I'll have to show you. You can take the floor up, and there's drains in the bottom.
Nice.
So you want to you have a tailgate, or you're at a game or your kid's game, and you want to have the coolers for the kids in there, and it starts to leak. You don't have to worry about freaking out about ruining your car. You just
yes,
pull the
coolers
drain out.
for the kids.
Coolers for the
just
kids.
be for the
As a
kids.
guy who's driven pickups for 25, 30 years, that is the coolest thing in the world. I'd never give up my pickup, but what do you do at the back? You know, I mean, when you're hauling something and you got weather and stuff like that, that fixes everything right there, because a Super Crew has more backseat room than my 78 town car used to have. And now you got that frunk. Is that what it's called?
It's called a frunk, yeah.
Okay, now you got the frunk to put luggage and stuff in there. I don't have to go buy a minivan to haul the family around. I can do it in an F-150.
Oh, it's massive. I mean,
That's cool.
I think it's the biggest on any vehicle. Obviously, there's not a lot of F-150 electric competitors, but right now, I mean, it's huge. It's big enough to jump in.
We got to have you back sometime. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we need
I
your
appreciate
card.
it, guys. I do.
Just so we can keep talking about fronts.
I know. He wants to use the word as many times as we can. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Judd Templin with Ford, man full of knowledge and then some. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
We really appreciate it as well, too. And now this is the first time we've used the word frunk on the podcast. I want to do a hot change here, because right behind Judd is our friend Jay Follis from the Gilmore Car Museum. We've just been rolling people in and out here, and Jay was waiting patiently. I felt like I needed to buy him a beer for standing over there.
No, I had a good time just hearing him say frunk. I just thought that's cool.
When's Gilmore going to get its first vehicle with
Yeah,
a front?
I know. I'm thinking, what do we have that would compete?
Now,
you
how
know?
does that work?
I'm not sure.
Well, no, I mean, we see the Explorer over there.
Oh, yeah.
And that was, I'm old enough to know when that came out, that was a big thing. And what's the newest car in the Gilmore collection?
The newest one probably is one of the Lincolns, probably I'm going to say 2020.
Okay.
Because we have a handful of cars like for Lincoln and Cadillac that will come right from Lincoln or Cadillac. The 92, what we're learning is that to be sustainable in the future, right? We need to put stuff out there that people want to see. We have a fantastic collection. We got about 600 cars overall. Most of them are pretty old.
Yeah.
Most of them are these fantastic early cars.
Yep.
What we brought up here to the auto show this year, all of them but two. Every single one of these are, well, other than the cars we're driving, but I'll get back to that. They all are recent donations. So,
I read that.
Yeah,
Very cool.
the 92 was a young guy in high school, bought it brand new. His dad worked for Ford, so they were able to follow it down the line and have information of when it was doing this and whatever. And he contacted us and said, I want to donate it because it's turning 30 and I don't think I'm going to be able to maintain it. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to maintain it.
We always say every great car has a great story behind it,
are.
even if it's not the car that you thought it was.
Right.
You know what? What do you got, a Cyclone over there?
Yes.
It's not a 428. You know what? It's a 390, but it's cool. It's got a cool color to it. It's got the options that you need on it.
You could flip that upside down and it's just as cool underneath. And I am honest, the folks that donated that to us, I thought they were kidding, right?
Yeah.
They contacted us, said they wanted to loan it. So I sent them loan paperwork and they said, well, we'll call you when the title comes in. I thought, well, I don't care about your title.
You're right, that's yours.
And so they called and said, hey, we got our title today. You can come pick it up in the morning. I go, well, okay, that's good. And make sure you bring the donation paperwork. I said, well, I think you mean the loan paperwork. And they go, no, we're donating it. I go, okay, donating, like you're giving it to us? Yep. They didn't own that car 12 hours.
Wow.
And they donated. They just said, it's too much of a car for us. It's a perfect car. I mean, it's a national award-winning car.
Drive it.
Yep. They said, let's just donate it,
Okay, I want to mention, because we're talking here in early February, I want to mention the fact that a lot of people probably think you guys go to sleep in the wintertime, the Gilmore Car Museum. You don't. You've got a winter lecture series right now.
Yep.
And for car nuts, like all three of us on this podcast, and just anybody who loves learning about cars, this is like going to car school, but it's every kind of different topic. Talk about that and talk about how that whole thing works. It's not open just to members. It's open to the public.
It's open to the public. We do it on the Sundays. We start in the middle of January. We usually go, March, maybe the first part of April. And it'll be anything and everything. Like I will be talking on the Tucker. It's basically Tucker 101.
Nice.
Love it.
And I mean, that's a cool story.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, every car has a great story. So we bring these people in just to talk about these things. It's absolutely free if you're a member. It's part of your admission if you're just coming to visit the museum. If you only want to come to hear Jay talking about the Tucker, it's only $5. But we really want you just to come and enjoy the museum. And you can go online and see the whole schedule for that. So yeah, you're right. We don't go to sleep. We're open year-round, every single day. Now, granted, in the bad weather, right? Like, let's say, like right now when we've had the snow and stuff, we're not going to see huge numbers.
Yeah.
But, we end up having some pretty good sized numbers even for our speaker series, for those lectures.
Nice.
It's pretty amazing. So I know I did one on Titanic one time, and I said, okay, now that's the one to break the record on. I didn't hold it very long because somebody came and talked about Mackinac Island and their cars, and like, what? I've never heard of that. And so the next thing you know, he broke my record. So that's the big joke. We keep breaking records. But we're always doing something. In fact, next weekend we have our, this Saturday, I shouldn't say this, but we have our winter motoring meet. So we'll have a whole bunch of snowmobiles out there. We are going to have a 1924 Model T Snowmobile.
Okay.
And the very first time they actually patented the word snowmobile was with a Model T kit.
Oh, is that right?
Yep, you could buy this kit and make your own snowmobile, and we've done that.
Wait a minute. What does a Model T Snowmobile look like? This is a podcast.
Oh, you have to.
So,
come on! You got to be telling me. You've never seen the whole.
No, there's a classic Christmas TV show that shows Bill Crosby as
going to town
cartoon guy driving one.
Okay, I know what
delivering
you're
the mail.
about.
It's got tracks and skis in the front.
Tracks in the back and red skis in the front. Come on, man. We gotta win. Yeah, it's fantastic. We just
Phil's
built
too young. He doesn't remember that stuff.
Yes.
We're the same
Wait a minute.
age.
This is a podcast. You can't say that because now they think the three of us are really old, right? That's not fair.
Well, I know you guys are always adding to your collection.
Right.
And then also you're adding to the facilities. Yeah, exactly. And I remember the last time I went down there, I remember going through a cruise on a 64 Lincoln, and they were talking about the different facilities and showrooms that they're building. So it's not just walking through a museum.
Right.
You've got your old traditional what a showroom used to be, and I know there's not only extra rooms, but then also, aren't you guys building or creating a course where people can come in, or guys can come in and learn about and get certified in working on these older cars, restoring the older ones?
Yeah, there's a couple different things we've got going on with that. We have one is a high school program. We call it Gilmore Garage Works. And what's neat is
very cool.
The high schools in our area have dropped the wood shop and the automotive shop. So we took that on, and we have adult mentors that'll come in, and usually we'll have it'll be like maybe 2 or 3 kids to a mentor, and
that is really cool.
It's not their dad, it's not their uncle, it's not a cop, it's not a coach. It's just somebody that'll help teach them. And these are people that maybe do body work, or maybe it's their passion to do engine work. And so these kids are coming in and they're learning that kind of stuff from these adults.
I love it.
So that's the first part of it. The other thing is they really learn a lot of the soft skills.
Yep.
And we don't put up with a whole lot. If you're going to skip school, you're done with us.
Yep.
And we've had kids that went back to school because they didn't want to skip what we were doing.
Yeah, that's cool.
We did the Great Race with a group of kids, and these kids have never left the state of Michigan.
Yep.
So it was fantastic.
That's awesome.
So now we've also added some winter things. So in the winter we'll have different shop, like a workshop where you maybe come in and we'll bring in somebody that's a nationally known painter. Maybe somebody that's a nationally known maybe customizer, and they'll teach you a one-day thing. So we do those kind of things as well. And you're talking about our campus.
Yeah.
We're 90 acres, and if you've not been to the Gilmore Car Museum in a long time, you won't recognize it.
Yeah,
you seriously
you need
will
to
not
go.
recognize it because years ago, I've been there 20 years. This is my 20th anniversary this year.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, when I started, literally it was about 5 or 6 barns, and you parked outside in the grass, and you walked over to a little train depot, and you bought your ticket. Well, that train depot is in the middle of our campus now. You're going to go to a 25,000 square foot display area, and then you're going to wander around going, where are those barns? You can walk around for a long time before you ever get outside and see the barns or the old car dealerships. We've got several of those. So the campus has really grown. I know that before the whole pandemic stuff hit, we were going to build a 60s, 70s style dealership with the big winged roof lines. And that was going to be our muscle car exhibit. Now, we put that off simply because of the pandemic, but that will happen. We're getting that fired back up. We really want to get that going. I'm going to say it's probably going to take us a couple years to get that done. We're going to build a downtown Kalamazoo street front that will be for the Horseless Carriage Club. Those are cars that are 1916 and earlier. So we have a lot of those things still happening.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so before I let you go, what's the favorite hood ornament in your hood ornament little barn?
Oh, you know
Because
what?
there's a little shed. If you've never been there, there's literally a little shed is bigger than the barn I have at my own home, and it is all full of weird hood ornaments.
Yeah, there's some
very
weird ones.
unique. What's your favorite one?
There's stuff you would never put on a car today. There's one that's like a hand grenade. You're not putting that on a car today, you know?
I was going to say that's my favorite
Yeah,
one. The hand
yeah.
grenade one is so unique.
Well, the other ones are see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. I think those are hilarious. But yeah, so yeah, you're gonna have to come check them out because
Vintage
we have a
JC
huge.
Whitney.
Exactly.
If you know what that is. Okay, so we found out today that Phil can power this board off AA battery, and we've been talking about this for years since the radio show days. But we have to come do a podcast down at Gilmore and go to Model T school.
We
Oh,
talked
my word,
about
yes.
this with the director of the Gilmore. He's a Western Michigan grad.
Don't hold that against me.
Okay, I won't know.
Yeah, no, we had him on the podcast, and of course then COVID hit, and yeah, so things slowed down. But we want to come down there. Let's work on that.
We'd love it.
We could probably talk for about an hour and a half.
We do a
with
great
everything
Model
down
T
there.
class. You guys would have an absolute blast. It sells out quick. So if you go on our website and see a date you're interested in, let me know. We'd love to have you come on down.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
We will make that happen, and we'll make it happen before it gets real busy because we want to make sure that we can get the word out and then sell it out, and we can say, see, we helped sell it out.
There you go. I love it. I was going to say I would show you how to drive a Model T today because we have a 1927.
I saw that.
Now that car, it's an electric. It was not a Ford-made electric, so it doesn't do the 0 to 60 in 3 point whatever.
Right.
It would be 3 point some days, and I don't think you're ever going to hit 60. But it's pretty cool. It was converted during World War II to electric.
Okay.
The other thing that's fun about it is that the gentleman that did it was Donald Gilmore, the gentleman that started the museum. And during World War II, you couldn't buy the cars, you couldn't get the gas, it was rationed.
Yep.
You couldn't get tires. You could only get 5 tires per car, right? We have wood tires that his crew made for him.
Wow.
I think they did it so they could hear him coming to work, right? Like, the boss is coming.
That prepared the horses to let everybody know.
I actually got to drive a 1898 Baker electric. It's kind of a one-off.
Yeah.
He was a buddy of Frank Lloyd Wright and built it in his garage that a friend of mine owned that I used to do work on. And even
No,
back
wait a minute. You
then-
said used to. Now, is that because something happened when you were driving?
No. Car it's in a museum somewhere, but it actually went to Europe to do the London and Brighton run.
Oh, yeah.
And stayed in the battery manufacturer's display area there for a number of years. But anyway, even back then, the thrill of an electric car, there's just something about even driving a golf cart, that bzzz, and here you go, and the chargers that they used to have back in those days for them and that, so very cool. And like I said, full circle, we're coming right on back to it.
Well, if you come to the auto show, we have a 1903. There's only 3 of them that exist. We have one, Smithsonian has one, there's one in Great Britain. You come, and once an hour, depending on how many people we have stand in line, I'll take somebody for a ride in that thing.
That is amazing.
And you can, because it's just an electric car. Now, do you have the original batteries that you use, or
No,
you've
those
updated them?
Yeah, we've updated them. The ones that, definitely.
Well, they used to
They
rebuild
leaked
batteries,
out.
you know?
Oh, yeah.
Pull the plates out and redo the
Yeah,
lead, and it was a
exactly.
whole art.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing.
Yeah,
but I
no.
mean, it's a
1903 Columbia. They made
03.
bicycles.
Yeah.
And they heard that Oldsmobile were making electric cars and thought, well, we can do that. So they started making an electric car, and 3 years later they thought, well, we're going to make that gasoline car. And so if you see the 1906 Columbia, you will not believe it. It's gigantic compared to this 1903 that's out there running right around right now.
But it's a 118-year-old car that you take people for rides on every day, and it's just as reliable as a bicycle.
Oh, you bet.
That is
And then
awesome.
We actually have a 1980 electric. It's a little, looks like a cheese wedge.
Leopard.
What?
Is it electric Leopard, that yellow one?
It's actually
City car.
It's a city car or a commuter car.
I
And
forgot
I have to
about
tell you,
that.
we've been messing with that, and we can't make it run. But I can make the 1927.
You know what?
And I
That's
make
why
the
they quit making them, because the owners couldn't make them run either.
You're 100% right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you come to the auto show, we'll put you in one.
Yeah,
and
we're
give you
going
a
to have
ride.
to do that.
Definitely.
We will definitely do that. GilmoreCarMuseum.org, GilmoreCarMuseum.org. Jay Follis, who is just one of the many treasures down there. We're going to take you up on that. We are going to figure out a Saturday we can come down there and invade, and we'll have some fun doing
We'd
that.
love that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your support of the auto show all these years. We love talking to you. Appreciate it.
Phil. You guys have been fun. Thanks.
We appreciate it as always, and most importantly, as we look around here, this has been a very interesting experience. We've talked to some different people. I don't know if you have any closing thoughts, Mr. Puhek, and then I'll turn to Mr. Schwinkendorf.
I like the Ford Lightning. I think it's pretty sharp, and we're gonna go from there.
I think it's cool that, I'd like to see more electric cars here, but Gilmore's got 2 of them. One doesn't run, but they brought 2 electric cars. 3? Oh, he brought 3.
Yeah.
He outdid Ford.
Yeah.
Crazy.
2 motorcycles are crossing.
I know. They are. They are way cool. I can't do that. I'm not allowed.
Nice
I saw him
selection.
ripping around. I just didn't hear him.
Now, most importantly, as you're hearing this podcast, the auto show has ended. But we invite you to stop by Gilmore Car Museum. Don't forget, as John Baker from Showspan said, the golf show going on. Showspan will be the website for all of those shows. And we want to thank the Showspan people and Michigan International Auto Show folks for having us down here. I'm producer Phil Tower.
I'm Al Schwinkendorf.
I'm John Puhek. Thanks for listening.